Hi, it is Carla of Rayhan's Connecting the World, and I am here today to speak to Joanna Choluj, and this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which connects the world one conversation at a time and brings more understanding. Joanna should be here any second. I will tag her to make sure she gets here, but I don't think that should be an issue. And here I go. Okay, she is tagged, and hopefully she will easily be able to get into the broadcast. She's actually the first person I'm ever speaking to from Poland. Well, I have some friends from Poland, but she lives there, so we're going to learn a little about Poland. We're going to learn a little about education. And this should be a very good broadcast. And I am just waiting for her to get here. And she's here already. Okay, let me try that again. Why isn't it allowing? I'm not seeing you on the screen. And here she comes. Joanna, it happened easily.
Yeah.
Did you have
something happened to my phone? Okay.
Did you have it? Oh, put on your head.
Oh, I have to. Should I share it? Can you hear me?
You need to use your headphones.
I don't have a headphone.
Do you have these?
Not. I don't know where they are. Not really. Oh my God.
Oh my! Hold on. Maybe I need some this time. Hold on. Let me find out if it works. Give me a moment.
I don't know where they are.
Wait a moment. Maybe it'll work if I put mine in. Can you talk and can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Am I clear?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, hold on. I have these confused. Okay, talk again.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you introduce yourself to me? Tell me a little about, first of all, tell me your name. Let's make sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Do you want it in English or Polish?
Give us both.
Well, in Polish, it's Joanna.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, and in English, it's Joanna. I've got, in fact, in fact, in Poland, they call me Asia.
Ah, Asha. How did you
It's
get the name Asha in Poland?
No, it's a diminutive from Joanna, from Joanna.
So they call you Asha?
Yeah, it's kind of a nickname, a small name, diminutive.
Were you born in Poland?
Yes.
What city do you live in?
Piaseczno. It's very close to Warsaw.
Okay. And where did you grow up?
On the other side of Warsaw, in Otwock.
Okay. And what did your parents, do you have any sisters and brothers?
I've got one brother, younger.
So you're the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
And what were some of the favorite things you liked to do when you were in Poland?
You mean now?
No, when you were growing up, what kind of
When
games did you like to play?
Same as here, as now. I created languages. I did some creative activities with my cousins. Drawing, painting, playing, music. I don't know, running around. I lived in a forest. There's a forest and the river.
Oh.
So, very, very pretty.
So you were not living in a city at all?
No, it was a small town. Not a village, but a small town.
And you're a teacher now, but did you like school?
No.
I
didn't like it.
What inspired you to become a teacher?
It took me a long time to become a teacher, you know. I didn't want to be a teacher. I mean, I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but after going to school, I decided that I do not want it. But what inspired me, right? So I did my studies. It's Polish philology, and then I did lots of different jobs. I was some kind of director's assistant in different companies, then traveling around the world, let's say, meeting Rehan and all other people.
Where did you meet Rehan?
In Holland.
Okay.
In Amsterdam, yeah. And yeah, and then I came back home. I mean, after all those travels, I just came back to Poland, and I decided to change my job. I just didn't like all those office jobs. It was not satisfying for me. So I did my other studies, French and English. I would say philology and pedagogy, because it was the teaching studies, and I became a teacher. What
countries did you visit when you were traveling?
Many. In Europe, I went to Slovakia, Czech, Belarus, Hungary, Holland, Belgium, France. I think I didn't visit Spain, Portugal, and Italy. and Greece. But most of others I visited. And I didn't visit Russia. And I visited also the United States. We lived there. And I've been to Pakistan.
Wow.
And the United Arab Emirates.
Now, I know that you have 2 kids. How old are your kids?
My older is 10 and my younger is 4.
Boys or girls or a combination?
Boys. I've got 2 boys.
And what do they like to do? What are they interested in?
The older is I think they are interested in languages, but maybe this is because I've been teaching them since they were born 4 languages. So we learn 4 languages at home.
4 languages?
Yeah, at home.
Are
yeah,
they
4.
fluent in 4 languages?
No, they are not fluent. You cannot be fluent if you've got 4. But I just wanted them to speak well. So they pronounce well in English, French, and Russian. And Spanish is not fluent. Because if you learn it early, then the mouth is prepared, right? So they can speak better than me, pronounce better than me. And they like languages, but otherwise they are very, I think it's very boys stuff. I mean, meaning that they are very, I think my older is likes mathematics and all the construction stuff, right? All the Lego blocks and constructing stuffs and playing in the woods and with sticks, running around. So all this, but I think they are more scientific oriented than me.
Why do you say that?
I see that the older, I mean, I cannot say much about the 4-year-old, but my older is he's very smart. He's smarter than me in mathematics and physics, and his father is a mathematician, and he's an IT geek, so he knows a lot about computers. And my younger, for him it's very natural to play Minecraft, and not really play, but because he's just programming easily, and he's using the Scratch and all other programs.
Wonderful. Now tell me a little about your feeling. What do you teach?
I teach, well, I mainly teach languages. I've been teaching languages for, I don't know, for over 10 years, maybe 15. And it's Polish, but Polish is our language. So I don't only teach like how to speak Polish, but I teach also literature, grammar, and all this to children. And I teach also French, English, and some Spanish, but to other children, because to my children, I teach those 4. And I don't have it now because I just closed my company. But I used to teach also creative activities. So it was, I mean, different ideas. For example, I had one creative activities workshop about all the English-speaking countries, and we are learning English, but also culture of those other language English-speaking countries. Or I had, let's say, French workshop, and we had all the French-speaking countries. Also, I had some workshops about emotions. The children liked it a lot.
Oh, it's important.
Yeah, it was important, yes. And also about money. There was a financial education too. So I had that.
You could
Yeah.
teach me something on that. How old are the kids you teach?
They were primary school kids.
Now, did you teach in a school or did you have your own business going on?
You know, now I think I just want to move on. And I've been living in Poland like for 13 years now or over. Before I was traveling, but for the last 13 years I've been staying in Poland. And I think I'm just tired of it. I'm a kind of person who likes to travel and live in other countries. So I closed my company, and my contract with the school finished. I mean, I could renew it, but I didn't want to. So actually, now I'm not teaching, and I'm teaching only privately. But I'm not teaching in any school. I just want to move to another country, I think. I don't know where yet, but who knows?
What is your philosophy on education?
I think I don't have a specific philosophy. I'm just trying to get to know the child, kind of adapt to the situation. And I think my philosophy depends, because when I was at school, it's different to teach a class, and it's different to teach Polish, and it's different to teach a language. So I kind of, this philosophy is, I mean, there are some main, let's say, elements that's I mostly adapt. I try to get to know the child. Even if I've got a class, I try to know everybody, more or less, right? So it's very important to get to know each other. And I'm not such a, the person who doesn't say anything about herself. I'm just talking a lot about myself. So there needs to be a relation between me and the children. And it doesn't matter if it's a class or private lessons. So I think that's basic. And then I try to find out what are the needs. What is the need? What do they need from me? I mean, what's the point? Even if the adult comes to me, I'm asking, so what is your goal? What's your need? Why do you come to me? And then we try to find out like how to achieve that.
I did the same thing. I wanted to know the child in order to teach them. How do you get to know your children, your students?
Talking a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a kind of teacher at school that I was usually very accessible, I would say. So meaning that the breaks were not really for me. The breaks were for everybody. And I was open, I think, and I'm still open. It means that that in a way, when I was open and I was talking about myself, the children would just come to me and tell me their problems.
Yeah.
So when they tell me, then I find out more. I don't ask questions like, so sometimes I do, meaning, but it was never direct. It was during the lesson, we had a topic, let's say family or something. So I would let them talk, or I would ask questions, and then through the talk, during the lesson, I would find out a lot about themselves, about their family, their hobbies or problems. So it was kind of, I didn't want to directly ask questions because sometimes children have problems. I just wanted to tell me themselves.
I did the same thing. I was a special ed teacher, so I understand what you're talking about. You really needed to know the kids. Did you find that the kids came to you often because of this, or? Did they
Say it again?
Did they like coming and speaking to you a lot? I had kids who I couldn't even get to go to lunch at times because they wanted to spend it with me. Did you find that happening?
Yeah, usually it was like that I had to run at the last moment to eat something. But my last job was also the special education.
Oh.
Because I taught in the school, it was the special education, for children with special needs. Like we had autistic children and Asperger, and we had also some children from, let's say, with some problematic social behaviors. And I think that those children, even the autistic children, they just needed to be relaxed and talk. Not really talk. They sometimes didn't talk, but they wanted to have the how to say, the climate or the atmosphere where they could feel well. And sometimes they didn't talk, but they would just start doing things that usually they wouldn't do. Like they would start working on something, or they would start learning, especially those social kids, meaning those from difficult families, from families with some problems. When I started to I didn't want to help them directly, because they would, I think, run away. But created the kind of atmosphere where everybody could trust the other. So
yeah,
they were talking.
Did you find that your students began becoming more verbal and actually wanting to help each other from the atmosphere that you created?
Yeah, I think that they were helping. The class was becoming kind of more integrated, I don't know, stronger, but it depends. With autistic children, it didn't really work. The autistic children would just, they didn't really interact. They cannot really interact well. So they were just getting not so stressed, and they were just be able to focus on the topic peacefully. They wouldn't be so aggressive, or they wouldn't be so distracted. So that was also good. I cannot really achieve much with autistic. Depends, but autistic children are difficult.
Oh, I agree. They're very difficult to work with. But it seems like you were able to get through to them. What do you think your greatest achievement was when you were working with autistic children?
My greatest.
Your most favorite achievement?
I think it's when I had a class of I had a class of high school autistic children, Asperger and autistic.
Oh.
And, yeah, and they were actually they were cooperating. They started because they were older, and they've been in our school for like 5 years. So after all this time, they started to kind of be more social because the autistic and Asperger children are not very social.
I know.
So I guess that's that. Yeah. It's difficult because you need a lot of time to see really the results of your work with such children. I was not the how do you say that, the head teacher. I was not really the caretaker of them. I was the English teacher, so I didn't have classes with them every day. So I think that they've got really strong relationships with the teacher who teaches them every day. So I couldn't have such big, you know, a role, but still.
But the fact that you taught them, even if it was a little bit of English and they could say hello when they saw you, that is a big accomplishment when you're working with Asperger children or children who are autistic. And I hope you realize that. It may not seem like it, but it's a huge, huge accomplishment.
We had different, because there are different kind of levels, right? We had autistic and Asperger who are quite, they were very intelligent, in fact. So I get them to speak English. They actually could speak English, and they could do tests, tests and games and tasks very well. But still they wouldn't speak English to themselves, right? So they would, let's say, read something or speak up, but they wouldn't really interact in English. So, but it was easier with them. But I had also autistic children who were, just saying hello, nothing else.
Did they begin to interact with each other in Polish?
Yeah, mainly Polish. But it was, I think it was fun for them to learn English.
Right.
Because I did it because we only played. I never did, I had to play with them. Otherwise they wouldn't learn. They didn't want to.
But play is sometimes the most important way of teaching any child.
Yes.
Play is so very important for all children. Wouldn't you agree? What kind of play did you do with them?
Depends. I don't know. I was just inventing. I used a lot of pictures, lots of pictures, and we usually were just the guessing game, covering pictures, uncovering pictures, or just hide and seek with pictures, or sometimes words, like English words, and you had to hide it somewhere. They liked hiding, like hiding and finding things. So they liked that. And we used, I would also use the, how do you say, the role play game, right? We call it kalambury, like when you act out something and they have to guess what it is. They didn't want to really to act out. They didn't really like to do it, but I did it. They had to guess.
But the fact that you did it, and when you did it, it created interest for them. You engaged them, which is amazing.
Yeah, they liked it.
I taught autistic children for a year. Well, actually a year and a half. And I found it very difficult, and I couldn't get them as engaged as I wanted them to. But what you did is amazing.
But it was not so all the time. It was like, for example, they would engage, like, I don't know, for 10 minutes or 15, and then they would just, sleep, or I don't know, they would play alone. So it wasn't like they wouldn't focus much, right?
Well, they can't. Yeah. That, they begin to focus more and more as you give them more opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. I teach all ages, like from 7 to 19. So depends.
What age did you enjoy teaching the most?
I like 7, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And then I like 15 and 16. I don't like in between.
Yeah, I agree. I was
Early teenagers are not fun for
no.
me.
There are a lot of trouble.
Yeah, problem.
I can
Yeah,
tell some definite stories about that.
yeah.
You did live here. Did you see the educational system in the United States when you were here?
Not much. No, not much. I didn't really know anybody who. I knew Suzanne Bowen,
Okay.
and she used to be a teacher, but I
Yeah.
never, went to any school, and then she changed her job. So I don't really. When I was in France, I had friends who are teachers, and actually I went to the school and I've been to the lesson, but not in America. So I don't really know how it. I know the kindergarten. In kindergarten, I've been to the kindergarten. I've seen how it's just like in Poland. They are playing,
But
but I
that's,
didn't see in school.
play is so important to learning. It really makes it very difficult for me to understand why teachers don't encourage kids to play.
It's a complicated topic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think sometimes I don't think it's teachers, um, because teachers too. I mean, naturally teachers usually want to engage in a play, but sometimes, like I've seen my teachers, my friends' teachers, um, it's hard because you've got so much other stuff to do that you don't really have, I don't know, force or don't really have enough motivation to do it. And when I saw my friends, it was like they were all constantly tired and stressed at work.
Oh, yeah. I know that feeling completely. And I know times when I felt stressed out. What
Yeah, me
can you
too.
tell me just one good story when you were teaching that you really had fun and you really thought, I like what I'm doing?
Many stories. I think it was really. I don't have such stories, just anecdotes. I know I like teaching. I like teaching in high school. I had a class mostly of girls, and it was difficult to teach them because they were talking all the time, blah 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 blah. And, so it's always easier to have. So I had this high school girls class, let's say, because there were like, I don't know, maybe 5 boys and the rest was girls. um, and uh, it was nice to talk to them. I mean, I kind of wanted to make them understand more about England, and they were interested. So I like that. I like teaching this class, and I think that they were learning English well, and they would speak a lot because they liked speaking, but they didn't like all homeworks and tests and so on. So mostly they were good at speaking. So I were giving them marks for speaking, but not really. I mean, the marks for grammar I was just giving less because otherwise they wouldn't be so well. And the other class I liked. It was in the other high school, but it was technical high school. So they were mainly boys. I think there were like 2 girls only in this class and only boys. And it was nice because they were, I mean, I mean, the young boys, they would just always, can I carry your bag? Can I open your computer? Would you like to sit here? They were so gentlemen, you know, so they were, and
Wow.
they were also talking, but they would talk me into not do the lesson. They would just, you know, chat, so that we don't do the topic.
How old were
But
the kids? How old were these boys?
the boys, they were like 17, 18, 19, high school. Yeah.
That's great.
17, yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19, four classes. Yeah. And the girls also, but in the other school. Yeah. I didn't like to teach. High school was fine, but in Poland we had secondary school. They changed now the education system. So we have only primary school and kind of, I don't know what it is now, secondary school or high school. I think it's just
middle
primary school and
school
high school.
when they
We've
were
got
like 13, 14, 12, 13, and 14.
No, now we have eight. We have primary school with 8 classes, right? So they
Right.
finish when they are like 18 or 16. And then they go directly to 4 or 5 classes high school, I guess. And what I was saying is that before, when I was teaching, there was also secondary school. So 6 years of primary school and then 3 years of secondary school. And I hated this. I think it was
Oh,
not a good
yeah.
idea. And because it was the hardest age, let's say, like 12, 13, 14, yeah. And I taught in a school in a difficult part of Warsaw, and they were all very aggressive.
Oh my gosh.
And problems with drugs and all this, and with behavior. So it was very difficult to teach there. That's not my worst experience there. But I taught there only half a year.
My last year, I taught at a school like that, and it was my worst year ever teaching because they're not ready to learn. They're more into anything but learning at that age, and all the hormones are jumping and moving around.
Yeah. And I was a young teacher. I think it was my first job. So I didn't really know how to, kind of create the relationship and discipline them at the same time. And I think the boys, they really need to be, they need a strong teacher, I think, at this age.
Absolutely.
But not the strong aggressive, but, I was just too gentle.
Yeah,
them.
I wasn't strong. I know what you're talking about. They needed someone to say no and know that that the teacher meant no.
Yeah. Exactly.
What is your favorite age to teach?
Small children. But I teach also, I think I taught all, I taught like from 1 year old.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not talking about my children. I'm talking about other children.
I know.
I taught from 1 year old because it was in creche, before kindergarten, right? And then the oldest, it was, I think, 80 years old. 80. Because I taught also in language classes. So my favorite is like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, from 3 to 7, let's say. Maybe 8. Okay.
Wow.
Like children. children are fun.
I appreciate the work that you do. I know it's not easy.
But it's fun. I like it.
Oh, I have another interview coming up in 1 minute.
Oh.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me before I hang up?
I just watched this the film the film about the Finnish, the Finland teaching, and they
yes.
I mean, there are lots of films, and the teacher from Finland, he just said that it's not really that Finnish teachers are so perfect. It's not about this. They've got a different system, and that's why it's working. So I would say, teachers are good everywhere, I think, in the globe. So the problem is that we have to change the system.
I think that many people don't realize how difficult it is to teach. It's not an easy job at all. And I really have a lot of respect for people who deal with autistic children. I couldn't do it for more than 1.5 years. But you did it for many years. And I really respect the work you have done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we talk again sometime?
Yeah, we should talk again.
Yeah. My planning today was not as good as I thought it was. And I actually need to end this broadcast now. But let's set up another time to talk. And talk about what education is about. Excuse me?
No, I'm just saying that somebody says where I am from. I'm from Poland. I think maybe I didn't say.
Well, he may have just come. And I am
maybe.
from the United States in Washington, D.C. area. Which is why I find this so cool that we could have a conversation like this and yet be so many miles away.
Yeah, it's far away.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking with me.
Thank you. So let's do it one more time.
Oh, of course. We're definitely going to do that. And I just want to say this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, and I'm just happy to be a part of this world. Let's wave goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And we will talk again. Bye.
Okay.